Greetings, my friends. Welcome to Dirty Vision Sports. I am your host, B Freezy, letting you know that fat meat's greasy and pimping ain't easy, right? Now, with that being said, we're going to get into this video, okay? We're going to break down the upcoming David Benavidez, Caleb Plant fight. It'll be taking place next Saturday, March 25th in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Hotel, Resort, and Casino. Okay, this is going to be a huge fight. You know what I mean? Like the Ryan Garcia, Tank and Ryan, that fight is getting a lot of hype and publicity, and rightfully so. But this is going to be a fight of great magnitude as well, and may be just as good, if not better, right? You got two super elite, world-class, former champion, talented fighters at the top of their game and in their prime with bad blood and a lot of hatred. So, hey, hatred, fighting, bad attitudes, sounds like a hell of a night to me. Okay, so let's get into the measurables first. We got David Benavidez, former two-time super middleweight world champion. Never lost his titles in the ring, always outside of the ring for various reasons. But, he's definitely a beast, undefeated. 26 years old. I believe he's 26-0 with 23 knockouts. Okay, this dude don't play around. He gets people up out of there. He's 6'2" with a 74.5-inch reach. And the opposition, Caleb Plant, is 30 years old, former super middleweight IBF champion. Lost his belt to Canelo. That's his only loss. And Canelo's a all-time historical great. So, nothing to be ashamed about right there. And I think he could have done better, but nothing to be ashamed with a loss to Canelo. You're challenging yourself against the very best. We got Caleb Plant, 30 years old. He is, I believe, 22-1 with 13 KOs, right? And he's standing at 6'1", with a 74-inch reach. So this fight is going to be very interesting because of the contrasting styles. David Benavidez is a pressure fighter. Not a classic pressure fighter, but he's a pressure fighter. But he does it a different way than when people think pressure fighters. He does it a different way. He's got skills. He's incredibly sound fundamentally. And he's a lot to deal with. And Caleb Plant, you're looking at a pure boxer right there. Just incredible skills, elite boxer, one of the top in the game, just with skills and movement and what he brings to the table. And with that being said, it's going to be a really good fight. It can play out a bunch of ways. The thing, Benavidez's strengths, again, like I said, he's a pressure fighter, but he's not just what people think, where you just come forward and eat a lot of shots to get his shots off. No, he's calculated and he's intelligent and he's skilled. So he puts the pressure on, right? But while he's putting the pressure on, he's coming with the high guard, catching shots. And while he's catching shots, bop, 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 he'll get off his own, right? He'll counter, he'll catch, and counter. So that makes him tough because he's defensively responsible while he's putting this pressure on. He's not just running in like some madman willing to get punched in the face a lot of times just to get off 2 or 3 shots. And he's one of the top combination punchers in the game. He's a pressure fighter that's smart, pressures intelligently, and got crazy hand speed and an excellent jab. And that's going to be a very important point, his jab, okay? The counter side, you got Caleb Plant, pure boxer, incredible skills. He's going to want to box and move, okay? He's going to be boxing. He's going to have to move, but he's going to also have to pick and choose when he wants to actually sit down and fight, because we all know Caleb Plant can box. He's an elite boxer, but David Benavidez is going to make him fight. He's going to have to fight like David Benavidez, like get down and scrap, but he's got to be intelligent about doing it. Right? He's going to have to stick, move, box, jab, jab, move. And then he's going to have to pick and choose his spots where he's going to sit down and exchange and squab with David Benavidez, because that's the only way he can beat this guy. He's going to have to keep Benavidez up off of him and gain David Benavidez respect with some good, powerful shots to buzz his brain a little bit, to slow him up. That's what he's going to have to do, because you just can't let David Benavidez run roughshod over you. That's not going to work out well. You know what I mean? So he's going to have to pick and choose when he's going to sit down and fight and sit down on his shots. A very good fight strategy for him to use, to implement, would be kind of like a style Sugar Ray used against Marvin Hagler. You know what I mean? He boxed, he jabbed, he moved all night long, but then he would pick and choose his points where he would sit down and exchange with Hagler, and use his superior hand speed and skills to get off shots, make it look good to the judges, and get up out of there without getting clipped. That's what Caleb Plant's going to have to do. He's going to have to pick and choose when he's going to sit down on his punches, when he's going to sit down on his shots, and he's going to have to exchange with Benavidez, and he's going to have to get up out of there without getting clipped. That's going to be, in my opinion, the key for him to be successful in this fight. Both of these guys have underrated, in my opinion. I mean, everybody knows they're elite, but, there's aspects of their game that's underrated. With Benavidez, I don't think people really understand how skilled he is. He gets a lot of credit for being a pressure fighter, a tough guy, good hand speed, but he's got great hand speed and incredible skills. Like, people don't understand the amount of skill this guy has. That's what makes him dangerous and scary. He's a pressure fighter that's intelligent, defensively responsible, has a great jab, and he has skills, right? And in my opinion, he's one of the best combination punchers in the entire game. So that's a lot to deal with. So, he's very underestimated with his skills. We know Caleb Plant's a pure boxer, a lot of skill, but Benavidez is a pressure fighter with a lot of skill. Okay? Now, the thing, the flip side for Caleb Plant, what he's very underrated for is his power. Like, he's got 22 wins and 13 of them by knockout. So he doesn't have a lot. Just let me make sure. Yeah, 22 victories, 13 by knockout. So he doesn't have a lot of knockouts on his resume. He's obviously not a KO artist, but he does have more power than he shows in his fights, than he exhibits in his style. I think with Caleb Plant, his style has always been, he's such a superior boxer to most of the people he's in the ring with. He can just box him up, move around, box, and win. You know what I mean? And if he gets a knockout, great. But he ain't really looking for that. But he's shown on several occasions, including his biggest fights, especially the last fight with Darrell, that when he sits down on his shots, he's got some power, man. He knocked Darrell out cold, and he's put the hurt on some other people. So his power is very underrated. And I think one thing that's going to help him a lot is the addition of Breadman that they brought in to help train, to take over the training with Caleb Plant's father. And he's been really focusing on getting Caleb Plant to sit down on his shots and really use his power, start letting that power transfer, right, from the ground up into somebody's jaw. You know what I mean? So that's what they've been working on. So, we'll see how that plays out. But he does have power. He doesn't really exhibit it with his style, again, but he does have power, and he has shown it, and I know that's what they're focusing on. And it worked in the Darrell fight. Now, will it work against David Benavidez? Like, David Benavidez already told everybody, I'm not Darrell. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to see, because a lot of times, in the heat of battle, when stuff gets real, we revert to what we know and what we do and who we are. So we're going to have to see if a couple of training camps will be enough for Caleb Plant to start implementing his power like naturally with his boxing, to really be a boxer puncher. That hasn't really been his style, but he is capable of doing that. So, both these dudes have vastly underrated parts of their game, which will also make it very interesting for this fight. So the key to this fight, in my opinion, is going to be, though, the jab. That's right, the jab. Out of all this big fight, elite athletes, David Benavidez is a killer. Caleb Plant super skilled, but it's all going to come down to the jab. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if David Benavidez is out jabbing Caleb Plant, I think Caleb Plant's in trouble. If he allows David Benavidez to out jab him, and Benavidez is a very good jab, then he's in trouble. Because if Benavidez is out jabbing Caleb Plant, it's just going to set up a whole evening of punishment, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? Because that jab is good, it's stiff, and it's fast. It's going to be coming to Caleb Plant, and if he's eating jabs, that ain't good. Because that jab is going to set up all the other combinations Benavidez is going to run off of it. You know, to the head, to the body, back to the head. It's going to be a long night for Caleb Plant if he lets Benavidez out jabbing. That's going to be the key. And the key for Caleb Plant is to get his jab off. This is going to come down to who's out jabbing who. Get his jab off, move. Jab, jab, move, jab, 2, 3. You know, bring some rights, bring some hooks, follow it up, and get up out of there without getting clipped. He's going to have to out jab David Benavidez, bring a right hand, a hook, some body shots behind it, get up out of there without getting clipped, and keep moving. That's what he's going to have to do. So it's really going to come down to the jab. So it's going to be a lot of people think Benavidez is just going to roll him. Objectively speaking, I like them both. David Benavidez is one of my favorite fighters. I really like Caleb Plant too. Respect both of these guys and really just thank them for coming together and putting on a real fight for us. But I got to lean towards Benavidez in this one. I see Benavidez coming with the pressure. Of course, Caleb Plant is very capable of winning. So I'm not discounting him at all. Much respect to both these dudes. But I just think Benavidez's constant pressure and his skills and his hand speed and his combination punching is going to catch up to Caleb Plant. That's how I see it unfolding. Again, I could be wrong. I'm just talking. Talk is nothing. These two dudes are going to actually settle it in the ring, of course. We won't know anything until then. But just the way I see it, I just kind of see David Benavidez's constant pressure being too much over the course of the entire fight. And I see Caleb Plant I see him getting stopped in the later rounds, 9, 10, somewhere in there. But if he would be able to pull it off and win, I wouldn't be shocked. Because again, in boxing, skills pay the bills. And Caleb Plant is extremely skilled, extremely athletic, fast, smart. And like I said, he's got underappreciated and underestimated punching power. So he's got a chance for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just saying he's going to get washed. He's got a chance. But the way I see it playing out, I just see Benavidez being too much to handle when it gets down to it for an entire fight. So that's pretty much the breakdown on how I see it. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm interested in hearing your comments on who you guys think will win, your thoughts. This is my first video that I'm putting up, so definitely leave comments. Let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Again, who you think's gonna win and why. And if you thought the video, we need you to watch it, obviously, subscribe. And if you thought the video sucked and it was crap, hey, like it anyway, man. Subscribe anyway, because it's only going to get better. We're going to keep putting up content, and it's going to get better each time out. So in closing, I just want to thank both of these dudes, David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, for putting on a great fight. These are two elite dudes. Big fan of both of them. Like I said, Benavidez is one of my favorite fighters. Just being completely objective here with my breakdown. But I'm seeing a great fight coming. I just want to thank these two dudes for getting in the ring and scrapping it out. There will be no losers. The fans win. That's the great thing when fights like this happen. The fans are going to win. So I'm happy about that. One of these guys is going to pick up the W on their record. And, and whoever loses, no shade, nothing to be ashamed of. You got in there and you got down. So it's going to be really interesting. Another thing is, before I close too, I got to think, Benavidez has been going crazy on Caleb Plant in these press conferences, disrespecting him, calling him names in front of his wife, talking about him in front of his family, like he just humiliates. So he's pulling his manhood card, man. So that's going to definitely motivate Caleb Plant also, because, any man ain't going to allow nobody to talk to him crazy and disrespect him, period. Let alone in front of the family and wifey and everything. So he's motivating Caleb Plant, but I think David Benavidez actually wants that. He wants the best Caleb Plant. He wants an angry Caleb. He wants smoke, period, and he's bringing it. So it's going to be an incredible fight. With that being said, and a lot of times, being angry and in a fight in boxing isn't good. Being mad and angry, I know it's a blood sport, it's a combat sport, but boxing is very technical and very intellectual. It's a thinking man's sport, so it's all about relaxation, thinking, being calm and poised. But David Benavidez fights in a rage anyway, because generally, being mad and angry and that don't help you in boxing. But David Benavidez fights in a rage anyway, so I don't really see that being too much of a distraction for him, because he, like I said, he fights angry anyway. So just him being angry outside the ring is rare. But on fight night, he's always mad in the ring and looking to do damage and put the hurt on people. So I don't think that's going to really hurt him. And I do think all the insults and the crazy press conferences and the talking crazy, the crazy talk that David Benavidez has been, aiming towards Caleb Plant, I do think that's going to motivate Caleb Plant to be at his best and fight his best. So, he's going to come in there and he's going to have to, again, we know he's a great boxer, but David Benavidez is going to make Caleb Plant fight, right? Will he be willing to fight all night? That's going to be the key. That's what we'll see. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, watch the video, comment. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you think. And this is the first one. We'll be back. More content, more boxing, more sports, everything. Tap in. Thanks again. Adios, my friends.